It's a time away from home where you actually just get to reflect and you get put in a box with who you really are.
Right.
Choose if you want to better yourself.
I need to use this time. I cannot leave here without something to show for it. And what I knew was I will have nothing, just like a mission material to show for this when I leave. Welcome to the Living Louder podcast. My name is Portia Louder, and I have two people here today that are pretty amazing. Hendershot. So he's like, I met him last night, and he and I share something. We share this common, people would say bad driving, but I'm going to say good driving. We're going to talk about it. We've both been in a few accidents, and I think because we survived, we're both good drivers. And then Michael Moyle, who I love his family. I love him. And I actually met him at the MTC. So both of these amazing young men, tried to talk them both into marrying one of my daughters. We're still working on that. But they both went on LDS missions. And so I know I have followers that aren't LDS, which means members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But we're going to talk about what it's like to either grow up in the church, then go on a mission, because I go to the MTC, which is the Missionary Training Center, every 2 weeks, and I share my story about prison. And I get people asking the question, like, how do people in the church treat someone that went to prison? Or I can't believe somebody that was LDS went to prison. And my response always is that I have been so loved and supported. I can't imagine how I could have made it without that. So we're going to talk about some of those things that happen in the church that probably hard things too. Like there are times that people feel very judged in the church, but I have felt so loved and supported. Welcome to the Living Louder podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, you guys. Woohoo. So I would love to take a second and have you each share just a little bit about your family lives, like what your life was like growing up. I know, Michael, you know my life. Like I've spent some time in prison, struggled with addiction. We talked a little bit about that last night, Oaks, but I thought maybe, I don't know if you're okay, Michael, going first and sharing a little bit about your upbringing, as much as you want or whatever you want and don't want, and then we'll do the same. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm the youngest of 7. 3 of those are step siblings. So my mom, she remarried when I think I was 12 years old. All of my step siblings were already older, so didn't live at home with them, but they feel like just as much a family. Their kids feel like my nieces and nephews. We don't even use the word step. We use the word bonus.
Oh, that's cool.
Because that's what it is. Yeah, youngest of 4. Those 3 are all older than me, not only by age, but by maturity and experience as well. And just so grateful to have a family that loves me and a family that I love too. One that I'm excited to spend more time with here on this earth and in the life to come.
Right. So I met you at the MTC, and so were your younger years like perfect? Like, did you ever struggle with it?
It seems like it. Like that's the funny part is looking back on life. It just when times get hard, you look back and you think that you had the perfect life. Right. No, I mean, everyone has their struggle. People have doubts about their faith and about God. Me, something that I found is, I can struggle and have God on my side, or I can struggle and decide to not have him on my side. And I choose God on my side every single time.
Yeah. And I don't know if you were like going on a mission for both of you. Can be a difficult decision. It's a big commitment. You're 18, 19 years old. You make a decision that you are going to go serve the Lord, and that can come in. So you get called somewhere that you don't even get to pick, right? Like they call you to, you might go like, you could go anywhere around the world or stateside and you're poor. Like you don't go and get a lot of money. You're poor on your mission and you're away from your family and you're not getting paid for any of this and you're giving up college. And sometimes people are giving up like, a sports contract or lots of things, a girlfriend. Was it an easy decision for you or did you struggle with that decision?
So that's a good question because a lot of people decide to go on their mission by asking God if it's the right decision. And a lot of times they ask when they should go, if they feel like it's the right decision. Before my mission, I started to work in sales and marketing, built a team, and started to find a little bit of success in that and some rhythm. And all I really needed was time to keep growing that. So for me, I was willing to push off the mission or maybe not even go at all. And so for me, the answer that I got from the Lord was actually not a small answer. It was really loud because I was so prideful and he had to get it through my head. But for some people, it's just a really simple answer. They don't need the heavens to fall in their lap to serve a mission. And so much respect to those people as well who are willing to listen to a smaller voice. Yeah. And maybe those people don't have as thick of a skull, but it's volunteer work. And I remember getting out to my mission. I had served in Spain, Madrid, Spain, and the Canary Islands in Spain. And I had to learn a new language. And it was the hardest thing I ever did. Yeah. And I could not believe at first that I was doing it for free because I was fresh off of the Lord had prompted me to give up what I was doing for the time and hand some things over to my partner, who was also my manager. Yeah. He started his own company, took it and went with it and has done so great. He's one of my best friends. He also served in Spain. He's 27 years old. But it was a hard decision for me at first because I was so prideful. And so the Lord had to give me a big answer as to why I needed to serve a mission. But I heard something from our first zone leader when we were a companion. He said, it's such a sacrifice to be on a mission and serve the Lord, but it would be a bigger sacrifice to be doing anything else. Right. And I really found that to be true. And I would pay anything to do my mission over again. Like, really, it was amazing.
So cool. I've heard people say it's the hardest thing you'll ever love. Like, it's, and what's crazy about that is that that's kind of what prison was for me, which is right. It was sacred ground. Like, it changed my life, but it was the hardest thing I've ever done. It was who I became in the process and the people I met and the way I see the world that like changed everything. And it's confusing sometimes because you're supposed to like just be really bad if you go to prison. Yeah. I like that there were so many good things that happened. So you probably, like, you grew up in Utah. We're going to get to you, Oaks, because you and I have some things to talk about. We do. But you both grew up in Utah, which is pretty predominantly LDS. And then you go to another country, in your case, stateside, and we'll talk about that, how you guys met. Right. But all of a sudden you're like meeting people that aren't LDS at all. Yeah. For me, going to prison and being the only member, my testimony actually grew. I was like, because it was just between me and God. I like really had to dial in. It wasn't about culture. It wasn't like everyone's doing what I'm doing. It's like, what do I really believe? And I'm looking upward for that. Like, what was that like for you guys? Like, you go to a whole nother country where things are so different. And did you go, oh, garbage? Like, I want to go back to Utah. Or did you love it? Like, did you love meeting people?
Oh, there's so many aspects to going and moving to a foreign place, right? You take into account the people, the places, the economy, food, right? For sure, the food. There was all my favorite restaurants were no longer in my neighborhood.
No Chipotle.
There was no Chipotle.
No Swig?
No Swig. Gosh. No Chipotle. What else? All the great Utah restaurants and places we go to just consume. Those places weren't out there. That being said, where I served, it was a first world country, but it was still just so much of a different place. And to say I had culture shock would be an understatement. I mean, I was shook. I left the country like twice before then. And it was, I went to like Cancun, right? And the Caribbean, just not too far.
Right. So, and very nice. Like, you're at a resort.
Yeah, at a resort, right? Going on a boat and going snorkeling or whatever. Right. This wasn't the same. And maybe in some ways I thought it would be a vacation, see cool places, new things. But I quickly came to realize that the coolest part was the people. And like you said, it's just meeting new people, new cultures, getting to know their language, their slang, their jokes, their humor, their food, their gesture, their mannerisms, everything about them I just learned to love. I became a professional thief where I was just taking all of the best things about them and just saying, I want to really add this to me. Yeah. I want to become like these people because they did this and that, and I love this about them. And at first it was shocking, but by the end I was just, to this day, I talk to those people every day when I can. I loved the people of Spain. And when I say people of Spain, I don't just mean Spanish folks. Yeah. I met people from over 100 different countries and wow. It was beautiful.
Yeah. I love that so much. And I can relate. And maybe that's why they send me to the MTC to talk, because even though I was in prison and I was there for making a mistake, it was sacred to me. I met people from all different cultures and walks of life, people that thought different than me. I had always lived in Utah, and then I go to Oakland, California for a year, and I'm like, they don't even speak the same language. Like the slang is serious in prison.
It's different.
So different. And then to Minnesota, and like the love that I have. But it took me a few years. Like I was gone longer. Your mission's 2 years. I was gone for 5.
Yeah.
Probably took me a few years. At first I was just appalled. It's just like, why are these people acting like this?
Did you feel like when you got to prison, how long did it take you to feel like you actually like belonged in prison?
Such a good question. It was I was fighting it so much because I was like, I do not belong here, right?
And sorry, you actually got more time because you started fighting from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
You said
I got the maximum sentence because I was just stubborn, right? Mm-hmm. So I think like the first year for me was denial. Like there's no way I'm going to stay here. I am not going to engage with whatever you all doing. Yeah. I'm doing something else. Like, so if you're going to have a little dinner and eat nachos, I don't want to be a part of it because I'm not sticking around. I'm leaving. I'm only here for a minute, you know? And then when I got transferred, still, I had that attitude. I think it took me 2 years to decide, 2 years. But the key thing for me was like, I'm 100% responsible for being here. Like it took me 2 years to own that. Yeah. And once I owned that, that was so freeing for me. It really opened my soul. It's like the opposite of what you think. You spend your life trying to pretend you didn't make a mistake. And as soon as you own the mistake, that's freedom. Mm. And so that's when I was like, okay, like I'm here. What am I going to do with this time? And it became,
like, this is home.
Yeah, this is it for me. And then I really I got good at prison. Like I could go sometimes professional prison. We call it institutionalized, but we call it a pro prisoner too. But sometimes I want to go back for a week just to hang out, like just to have some time off. Yes, really? Because like there's no way that I'll ever have the time I had in prison to read, to study, to walk, to self-reflect. I read every good book I could get my hands on. I read the dictionary, the encyclopedia. Like I studied, and then
you're making me feel like I'm missing out.
He told me once, you make prison sound so charming. And I was like, it's not charming, not at all. But when I tell you the routine, like it really, I'm up at 4 or 5 in the morning. I'm reading my scriptures. I'm praying. I'm walking. I'm studying and reading, and then I'm working in a job where I'm helping people prepare to come home. Yeah. It's very meaningful for me. It was super painful being separated from my family. No, everything's so simple. You feel like you've gone back to there's no technology, nothing, but also genuine conversations, like probably on a mission, you're not using your phone all the time, right? And so we didn't have phones, so we're reading and silliness. Yeah. I'm sure you experienced that on a mission too, just the crazy silliness. A bunch of young kids acting a fool most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and one of the reasons why you ended up there was you were trying to be successful. Right.
Oh.
Yeah, you wanted to be successful.
I had bought into the world, like
the world's definition.
Oh, for sure. And that was the first people ask like, what did you miss out here? I'm like, I didn't miss the food. I didn't miss the money. I didn't care about the bed. I missed the simple moment. I didn't miss any fancy vacation. I ate for the simple moments with my family. Ate. Yeah. And I wondered how I could have been so foolish and traded all of that for money. Like, and I knew in prison, I'm like, I will never allow money to be my master again. Like I have been tricked. I really felt like the world had tricked me into thinking that was important. And it was like, I kept trying to make more money so I could spend time with my kids. Yeah. And the reality of it was I always had my kids. They were right there in front of me, and nothing aches like that for a mother than I can't be there with them. Like Sadie, like she was amazing. And when I went to prison, she was 12 years old. Like imagine a kid at 12 going through all those years without her mom. So hard for her. It killed me. And then having to look at them and saying, you're suffering because of me. Like what you're going through right now is my fault. And it was devastating for me and for them. And I'm still like, I will always be grateful that they've given me an opportunity to make things right. Yeah.
A mission and prison are so different.
Yeah.
But what they share in common, or one of the main things, is it's a time away from home where you actually just get to reflect, and you get put in a box with who you really are.
Right. And there's no escape, right? There's no distraction.
And you can't leave it. You're stuck with the same people as well and stuck maybe isn't the word, right? But you get placed with the same people, and you get to learn from them and their perspectives, and there's a lot of opportunities for honesty. But
and adding on to that, I think that a mission and a prison is a thing that you can make out of it. So
facts.
So for example, like there's missionaries in my mission that they didn't use the best of their time as they could have.
Right.
And I'm guilty of that at times for sure.
Yeah.
And then there's, I'm sure how it is in prison. You can choose if you want to better yourself or to, like you said, just want to think, okay, this isn't my place.
Right. I don't belong here. I'm gone. Yeah. I'm not buying in. What's interesting, I have my dad's like almost 80 on the podcast, and he went to Vietnam, and he's like, I mean, of course, that's such a hard experience, right? And he's like, and then I got there and I realized this is important. I need to do the very best I can in this. And when I got to that place in prison, I'm like, this might be the most important thing I ever do. Mm-hmm. Like, I need to use this time. I cannot leave here without something to show for it. And what I knew was I will have nothing, just like a mission material to show for this when I leave. I had spent so many years trying to make money and accomplish this and prove myself. And all of a sudden it's like, I will have nothing but who I become. Mm-hmm. And that's the most important thing we'll ever do on this earth is who we become. So how lucky am I? Like, I got a chance to see, because at the end of our life, I got a chance to die before I die. Like, I get a chance to see what I would feel like. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, I've put it all into the wrong things. I got to flip the script, you know? And a mission, you guys get to do that like before, without going to prison, which is amazing.
I know. We got lucky. We did, we still have to stay out of prison moving forward. As convincing as it sounds to want to go by your stories.
You're so funny. Did you guys ever meet people that have been to prison on your mission?
Yeah, we taught some as well. So quick backstory. Me and Oaks met before our mission. We were good friends, but we were crazy friends. I mean,
crazy.
We were high schoolers that didn't
care,
go out and drink, and so we had to make fun our
the
own
other ways.
Whether that's like throwing ketchup at someone's house, I don't know, some just stupid stuff,
right?
Just stupid
nonsense.
So when I got reassigned, meaning, hey, it's time for you to go to Spain on your mission, but your visa isn't ready, so you're gonna go stateside for a second. I got reassigned to his mission, and I knew he was already there. Because I was at his missionary farewell a few months earlier.
Crazy story.
Yeah.
I remember I was giving my homecoming, my farewell talk before I left on my mission.
Right.
And I see Mike there, and I thought nothing of it. He's just one of my close friends. Right. We did crazy stuff together. We had a fun time in high school. I leave, but right before I leave, I get a phone call from him. And he's like, Elder Hendershot. I'm like, what's up, Mike? He's like, I'm just thinking about you right now, and I just think you're going to be a great missionary. You're doing the right thing. And I was like, wow. Yeah. And we just talked for a minute, and it honestly really touched me. Like, wow, he's a good friend reaching out to me like this. Right. I was a little bit nervous, a little bit stressed. Like, is this the right thing?
Sure.
This is 2 years of my life. I left, and I went to my mission of St. Louis, Missouri. I'm there for just 3 months, and I get a call from him. Well, I'm on my mission. We're not allowed to take calls on missions.
So you're rebel.
And I don't answer. Don't worry. Ooh, okay. And he texts me, says, I'm coming to your mission. I'm reassigned. And I literally did not believe him. Then transfer day comes. My mission president calls me, and the night before, you usually get it a few days earlier, and he says, Elder Hendershot, I feel prompted to have you train a new missionary. So I'm a new missionary myself. Yeah. So I had just gotten out of training. So I was like, okay, are you sure about this? So I literally told him that. And he's like, yes, I'm sure. Go to transfers. I go to transfers the next day, and I see one of my close friends walk in, and I'm like, no way, that is Mike Moyle. And it was just surreal for me. And the crazy part is everyone's announcing their trainers. And I'm thinking, I can really train one of my best friends.
And you got to understand, too, there's thousands of missionaries. Like, I've spoken to literally probably 100,000+ missionaries. So the fact that he ends up in your, like, it's just kind of
At the time being, there was 65,000 missionaries across the world. Now there's 20,000 more.
Yeah.
At the time being, there was 65,000
And
missionaries.
you end up in his mission with him as your trainer.
For just one transfer, 6 weeks. And I get there, and the mission president comes up to me, and he says, Elder Moyle, you need to take care of your driving documents.
This guy can't drive.
He said, you're the only new missionary. This is before I know who my trainer's going to be. You're the only new missionary that's going to be allowed to drive because your trainer, who I'm prompted to put you with, is not able to drive. He's the only missionary in the whole mission at the time who doesn't have his driving privileges. So I instantly knew it was going to be him because I knew him before my mission. The first thing I ever heard about him is that he crashed his car into someone's front yard.
Well, we share that. But the thing is, we both know that we have had driving angels throughout our life.
Yeah.
Because, So many. Okay.
We did talk about that last night.
We did. We're going to talk about it. Yes. Okay. I want to go back to your childhood, like what your life was like growing up. Mm-hmm. What was it like?
So I started off in St. George, Utah. That's where that's where I grew up for a little time.
Yeah.
We moved a lot though. So we moved from St. George to California, Sacramento area. Mm-hmm. And then we moved to Mapleton, Utah. And then we took another move, which was the most surprising of them all. We actually moved to India.
Oh my.
I was 7, 8 years old, and my dad just walks in each of our rooms and says, "Hey, we're moving to India." I'm like, "What?" Crazy. And so it's just so crazy to me. I lived there for 2 years though, and he did humanitarian work.
Oh, wow.
And so something about my parents is they're very giving people. And so them being in India and taking us with them for 2 years was like a mission in itself. It taught me so much. And so for me, I was able to grow up with a family that showed me good morals, good teaching. And so that is kind of how I grew up, is I had a great family. And so I like to say I had an easy life, especially after being in India. I was like, wow, I really have it so good.
Right.
But that is what led to me going on a mission, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was more of okay, so I've seen what people are like in India. I was little.
Yeah.
But the people there had nothing. My dad's charity, he started there. People had leprosy. And so you would walk the streets of India in like these little villages, and they literally wouldn't have like hands or arms. It was like stubs, like nubs.
Yeah.
And like no legs. And it was just insane to me. Like, I realized after too, when I came home to America, everyone is good. Everyone together.
Right. Everyone has everything.
Exactly. And so that just was a humbling experience for me. And so I knew deep down, like, there's people out there that also don't have legs or arms and the gospel. And so I felt like I had both of those blessings. And so I was like, okay, I can't be selfish. And so that's kind of what led to my point. And that's how I grew up. So.
Wow. Where do you fit in the family?
I'm number 4 of 6.
Okay. Yeah. So you knew you were going to go on a mission.
Yeah. Well, yes, I knew I was going to go on a mission. I always wanted to go on a mission. As I got older, it became more hard for me, for sure. I remember being like 17, 18. I was like, wait, this is 2 years of my life. Like, I can
that's
literally.
A lot when you're 17 or 18. 2 years seems like it's a big chunk.
Yeah.
It's like 10%.
Yeah, that's my tithing for my life.
Right.
So yeah, that was it. I just was like, wow, this is gonna be hard, but I'm gonna do it. And so I did it. I didn't necessarily want to do it at the time, but I did it. I went to MPC. I didn't know anything, to be honest. I was like, wow, like, I don't know anything. Like, it was bad.
So if somebody's thinking, if you're LDS and you're thinking about going on a mission, you don't have to know anything.
Yes, that's true. You do not need to know. I mean, I don't want to say that. It's good to be prepared, but yeah.
But you're teaching people that already don't know much, and so you need to teach simply in the first place.
Yeah.
And so
what do you think is the most important thing, like, then? For me, if people feel genuine love and care, like, if they, I mean, you just have to build on that. And I learned that in prison. I'm like, you can't trick it up. You can't pretend to like something. Like, when it comes to this type of stuff, you have to pray to just really see people. And once you do, it's such a gift. You never want to give it away. Yeah. Like, when you can really see the goodness of others, it's such a blessing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
I should have paid attention in church.
Yeah, well, you know, and then you have me. Like, I didn't even go to church growing up. My life was, my parents, we were pretty non-traditional LDS. I was baptized, but my parents were like kind of off the grid type people.
Yeah.
We didn't pray and read scriptures and things like that.
Right.
Good people though. Like, we had a lot of fun as kids, but I struggled with, like, I didn't get active in the church until my 20s. And then I got active, went to the temple, and then I relapsed on drugs and went to prison. So, like,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, it wasn't, I know when I go to the MTC, I always feel so bad because I'm telling these amazing young people, I'm like, and then they hear, like, when I finally, because I placed a child for adoption, I went through drug addiction, I went through all these hard things, and then I met my husband. We get married, we go to the temple, and I'm looking at these missionaries, and they're like, yes, and I'm like, it's gonna get hard again. And then I relapsed, and then I got involved in illegal real estate deals, and then I went to prison. Wow. And I remember when I was in prison my first year, I was in this Sunday school. Like, we had volunteers that would come in, and this guy, he gave me a blessing, which is really sweet, but he looked at me and he goes, "You are strong." He said, "All things will be restored." He goes, "So many people wouldn't keep going." He's like, "You've already been through so much, God endowed you with the power and strength to keep going. And I was like, I know I can do this. And that was, it was hard, but to just not say, I can't keep going. Like I felt like I was in such a deep hole because I had made mistakes, and just to fight my way out of it and then find myself in prison, it just felt I was in a really deep hole. For me, the most important thing I ever did was to pray and ask God who I am to him. Yeah. Like once I knew how loved I am in my weakest state, I felt so loved and valued. And I could see, because when you know who you are, you can see who everyone else is too. Mm-hmm. Like once I felt that love and knowing of my worth, I looked around and went, oh, we are all so loved and important to our Father in heaven. And it changed me, but it was still really hard. You can do hard things when you know who you are, though. You have to know who you are, you know? Absolutely. And so you had both, like, I don't know Oaks as well as I know Michael. So I know that your life has not been easy. I'm guessing yours hasn't. I mean, it just doesn't work that way, right? Do you think your experiences, including going to India or family that struggles, helped you on your mission see people the way your Heavenly Father would want you to see them?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I think that, like I was saying earlier, I think India really was like my own mission itself, and it prepared me so much for like what to expect. Yeah. To be honest, India and St. Louis, Missouri are two different worlds.
Yeah.
But they have...
St. Louis is kind of my stomping ground. Yes. I met a lot of people from St. Louis in prison.
Yeah, that explains it. Like me and Mike, when we were companions, we taught a lot of people that did drugs, that had been in prison at some point in their lives. Right. And so...
Did they love you and welcome you in?
Honestly,
or they told you to get the heck off the property.
Some of those too.
We had both.
Yeah,
mostly great. Yeah, mostly great.
Mostly good experiences. But they did. Those type of people loved us the most. I feel like.
Yeah.
Like you'd be surprised, but I feel like a lot of the people that were easiest to teach and listen and to show love were those people that actually spent time in prison.
Right.
Or actually had a drug addiction.
Right.
As crazy as it sounds.
Well, no, it doesn't sound crazy at all, because I've been to prison and I think the world sees people like so bad. And I'm like, do you have any idea how much they loved me and appreciated me? Do you know, they would come find me and say, will you come pray with us? Like, I remember if somebody tried to be mean to me, I'd have 10 other girls there going, don't you two talk to her. Like, I felt so loved and valued. And so for me, I'm like, you see somebody big and scary and covered in tattoos. I see the kindest soul that was so grateful for anything I would do for them. Yeah. And just thank you, Miss Louder. Thank you for helping me with this resume. Like the first woman I met in prison, I was working in education. She looked scary, like really scary. She'd probably been beat up 1,000 times. Like she had a big jaw, like she'd been hurt, and she was covered in tattoos, and she could read on a 5th grade level. And she'd be like she was so grateful for everything I would do for her. So like a little child. Right. So I just don't see people like as scary anymore because I didn't meet scary people. I met like a few. There's a few out there, but mostly
100%. There's definitely a few. We have our own fair share of experiences.
But mostly they were so grateful for the light that we would, that we offered in any service. So you guys, so you meet in, well, you already knew each other, but tell me about the driving, because I got that problem too. I'm a fast driver.
Well, where should I start? From the mission or?
Well, like before you went on the mission, because I feel like I total a car every 2 years. Like I know that's embarrassing, but it's not always my fault.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I would say that I always thought I would be a good driver.
Yeah. I think you are a good driver.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that point. Yeah. Actually,
he's a good luck driver. It's a good
luck driver. I'd say.
Good luck driver.
Yeah.
I got my license when I was 16, and like most people do.
Yeah.
But I had failed my test probably like 2 times, and I honestly feel like I got lucky the 3rd time. I feel like driving wasn't like it wasn't my strength. It might be I have ADHD. It might be that I get distracted.
Okay.
But when I got my license, I was so excited. I had fun with my friends. And me and my friends, we were being dumb one night. And we were driving down the road as fast as we could. I'm not going to say the speeds, probably 50, 60 miles per hour on like a 30.
Okay. You're not going to say the speeds. I'm like 150 miles an hour?
No, don't worry. We're not that bad.
Okay, good.
But my friend says, go left. when I'm returning, and I was not thinking. I literally just went left. I went left going 50, 60 miles per hour.
Okay.
And we rolled up a curb. And we rolled up this curb and we hit a brick wall on the side of someone's house. So it's like a house right here, wall. So kind of just like circling his house.
Yeah.
We destroyed that. We demolished it. That
You're the reason parents don't let their kids drive when you're 16. Okay.
Yes, exactly. I'm that guy.
Okay.
And we destroyed his yard. The tree, it went into the side of his house, like in the tree. And we all get out of the car, and the neighbor actually comes out across the street and he goes,
loud.
"Did you hear that?" And all my friends had get out and they started running. I'm like, "What are we doing? Like, why are we running?" But I ran with them.
Running from the cops.
But it's like, why are we gonna leave my car in the yard? Like, what are we thinking? Don't ask me what I was thinking. The owner of the house, so the person that the neighbor, he comes out of the house. He's like, "Did you hear that?" I said, "No, I didn't." Then the owner of the house comes out and he goes, "Did you guys hear something?" He says the same thing. And I say, "No, like I didn't hear that." The owner of the house, he didn't see that there's a car in the side of his yard. Yes. We run down the street and then eventually I'm like, this is so dumb. I have to like call someone.
It's not going to work.
I call my dad. We end up calling the cops. We get the situation figured out. But I feel like I became a better driver after that point, a safer driver.
I would hope so.
I really did. And I got in a few accidents like in the future.
Right.
But I feel like all of them really were like, I really do think there was an angel protecting me. Like no joke.
Oh, for sure. People say, you can say whatever, but I was going like 60 and a car turns right in front of me. And I was telling you this last night. Like I literally, the way that I hit the brakes and turned, I knew, I just put my head up like this and it was a perfect hit to where nobody got hurt. Well, right. Chad broke his arm. Chad always says, "Why do you say nobody got hurt?" I'm like, well, CJ and I walked away fine. Right. And all the other people in the car walked away fine.
Wow.
But I would have T-boned him and killed him. Like I know that. And Seriously. It wasn't my fault. They like pulled right in front of me. And if you saw a picture of the car, it's completely a tin can, totaled.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I feel like I signed up for the driving angels before I came to Earth.
Wow.
Like that is, and there's been more than that, like numerous times where it just didn't make sense. I told you the time where I like flipped a diesel in a van and I should have gone over a bridge. And instead I just got out, the whole car's totaled and everybody's like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, like I feel like I've been really protected. Of course, wow. I didn't get the prison angel. Like I didn't get that one. Actually, I think I did. I had total angels when I was in prison, but
wow.
Yeah, I feel like I have that gift too. So maybe some of you have experienced that. Like you've had some crazy driving experiences where you should have died and didn't but I knew I wasn't going to die. Like 100%. I knew, I totally knew. I'm like, we're fine. I felt it, even though everything else looked really grim. I was like, no, we got this.
So true. I think that driving is where I've honestly seen God's hand in my life the most. As crazy as it sounds.
No,
like,
it doesn't sound crazy.
I had a guy run a red light and I was going and he goes this way. And I'm going this way straight, and he pulls out, and I'm on my phone, and I'm like, I look up, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I gotta slam the brakes.
Yeah.
I slam the brakes, and I turn left, and I hit the front of his car. But if I would have kept going straight, I would have hit him as well. And there has been like I knew after that moment, I was like, wow, like God really told me like, okay,
everyone's going to give you
heat. Up, first of all.
Everyone's going to give you heat, but I can admit that I too have had a phone problem before.
Yes.
It's so not good, but it happens.
I need to be better.
Me too. I commit to that, yeah.
Yeah, but 100%. I think there's so many experiences. I mean, I got in an accident a few months ago in Detroit, and I was doing like a campaign for politics with my friends, and we had a rental car and I'm driving straight on this road going like 70 and this guy in front of me hits a traffic cone. It's like the traffic cones that make the lane merge.
Right.
He hits this traffic cone and I was like, did he stop? I can't tell.
Yeah.
And so I'm just coming at him at 70 and I'm like, wait a minute, he is dead stopped.
Yeah.
So I'm slamming my brakes at this point.
Sure.
And I'm about to hit him full speed. And so I turn right as hard as I can and I clip his light. Wow. And my whole front gets destroyed.
But everybody lived, right?
But everyone was okay. And I do think if I hit the back of his car as hard as I would have, it would have been so much worse.
Yeah.
And I really do feel like every time it's like a voice is like, Oaks, like do this, do that. And I'm like, okay, God's real.
Right. Even when we make mistakes, that's the thing. Like God is so real, maybe especially when we make mistakes.
Absolutely.
So real.
I think something that I've noticed is we all seek for a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
And that's what God gives us.
Yeah.
That's what religion can give us as well. And that's something I've seen in my personal life. It's helped me so much. I remember going on my mission, being so scared, thinking that I was going to kind of go into it alone and have to just work really hard myself to see miracles. I didn't think that I needed to go in there praying as much as I did.
Yeah.
And missionaries, we probably pray 20 times a day at least.
So many times.
Every time we leave the door, every time we get out of the car, every time we eat, every time we start a lesson, anything.
It got to the point where it's like we just prayed about every new activity.
Yeah, no.
So cool. Yeah.
Every block. But what I really noticed is God knows who we know. He definitely knows who we are. And I have a few experiences of that on my mission with both of you guys, actually. I remember my first day in the missionary training center. I had just buzzed my head 2 hours before, and that's not something we have to do.
You just did
I just did it. I was
Yeah.
it's a new me, new leaf. Buzz my head. My mom comes down. It's time to go. Hold on, I'll be up in 10 minutes. She comes down. I'm buzzing my head. She starts crying. Whatever.
Yeah.
She's like, ooh.
I get to the mission in the missionary training center, and I'm just so nervous. I'm bald. I'm crying. I'm FaceTiming all my friends. I'm sending videos to everyone. I just look like a disaster, like a sad old Slim Shady. I walk in through those doors and I see someone I'm not even super close with, but a buddy I went to middle school with and I had seen periodically through high school. And he's blonde like me, buzzed head.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my goodness, right? He's welcoming me into the MTC.
Yeah.
I go through my first day, get all my materials, move into my little dorm room there, go to my first class. I'm just so nervous. And then we go to a devotional and I hear Portia Louder is going to be speaking, and I had never met the elusive Portia Louder ever. I had just heard about my friend, my sister's friend,
Right.
who her mom's in prison.
Yeah.
She got to go visit in Minneapolis, I think it was, years before during a volleyball tournament. And I had just heard about Portia Louder. So I was like, that can't be Portia Louder, right? Isn't she still in prison? I thought you were still in prison. I was completely sure you were still in prison.
Yeah.
No, I think my mom said she's going to get out this year. No, she's still in prison. And you tell your story and it matches up.
Yeah.
But I'm still not fully sure. And so at the end, I'm like, I'm going to split off and I'm going to go directly to Portia Louder, who just spoke. And I'm just going to introduce myself and just see if maybe it's her. And before I even shake your hand, you go, oh my gosh, it's him. And you give me a hug. And I just felt so loved. I felt like I belonged. And that was genuinely the first miracle of my mission, was feeling that sense of belonging and knowing that I was exactly where I was supposed to be. Fast forward a few weeks, I get a note that I'm not going to be going to Spain right away.
Right.
And I was actually devastated. I wanted to serve in Spain so bad. I had found out months earlier. I had turned in my papers 8 months before that, so I was already way delayed. And I was so excited to go. My mom got called to Madrid.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Married my dad instead, so she never went.
Okay.
My oldest sister also got called to Madrid. She was out there for a couple months, and she struggled with mental health, so she had to come back early to fix a few things. And so I felt like, I was the youngest. I was the last chance at this
Madrid.
Family mission
We're
call.
gonna do this.
And so when I found out I was getting reassigned, I was devastated because sometimes people don't get their visas for months and months. Sometimes people never make it out to their original assignment. So I thought, I'm going to end up in St. Louis or Nebraska.
Somewhere terrible.
Instantly thought of the worst places.
Right.
So my whole group, we all start opening our reassignments. People are saying Nashville, Texas. One's going to the cool coast of Oregon. And I started to actually get excited for a second. I was like, well, this is going to be good. And I opened it up and I saw St. Louis and I was distraught.
Yeah.
My pride took hold of me and I was so sad. And I just remember just being, I just wallowed in the mire for hours. I was so sad. I was devastated. And I remember we had a class and we had a 10-minute break from our class to go get a drink of water, use the restroom. I was learning a new language. I was learning Spanish, and I just felt like I was just so helpless. I couldn't do anything, and I was so little. I felt so small, and I almost wanted to stay small for a second.
Right.
And so I did something that you're not really supposed to do as a missionary. I just left my companion. I was like, you know
you're
what?
not supposed to do that.
I know. I was like, I need alone time. I went to the other room, and I just sat down on the couch, and I just started crying. And I looked up, and on the walls, there's scriptures everywhere. I was crying and I was praying to the Lord, help me to understand this.
Yeah.
Help me to make it make sense and have an actual good attitude about it. I am so sad. And I look up on the wall and I see a scripture that says, I have chosen thee as my servant. I have not cast thee away. And he had plenty of reasons to cast me away and not choose me as one of his servants. But I just felt in that moment that everything was going to work out exactly how it was supposed to work out. And I get to St. Louis, and my trainer is one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And we're knocking doors, which is something we both did for work before. And so I just feel like I'm at home.
Yeah.
I feel like I belong. And for those 6 weeks that I was reassigned, I felt like I just belonged. And I wouldn't trade those 6 weeks in St. Louis for the world, even though we almost got shot at one time, even though we were driving to an appointment and we had a huge prompting to just turn around. Crazy things happen, but I just felt so loved and at home, as crazy as that sounds, just like you felt at prison.
Right.
Yeah.
Coles, right?
I cannot believe that still to this day. That's like literally, that alone can like give me a testimony. Like being companions with my best friend out of 65,000 missionaries, like that's unheard of.
Right.
It's just crazy. I just remember when he walked into the room when all the trainers were getting announced, there's like 3 guys left that haven't gone trainers. I'm like, okay, so one of these 3 missionaries I'm training, and it can be my best friend because he's one of like the 3. And
1 in 3, man. The odds are good.
He's next up, and he goes, "No way!" And everyone's like my mission president, our mission president's like, "Why did he say no way?" And he's like, "Elder Hendershot," and I'm like, "No way, this is real." It felt like a dream. And I get up. You're supposed to hug the missionary. He jumped on me. Wrapped his legs around me.
My tag goes flying off.
Yeah,
everything.
And my mission president said, like, "What's going on? Do you guys know each other?" And we're like, "Yeah, we were friends before the mission." And honestly, like, I looked at him like, I do not know if he feels good about this.
Yeah.
But in the end, we obviously stayed together, and we had the best transfer of our lives.
So cool.
We were, there was a lot of moments where we just didn't really know what we were doing or what to do.
Right.
But something I learned is in hardship, in trials, even if we make mistakes, the Lord finds a way for us to make it right.
Right.
And at our age,
true.
especially coming home from a mission, and this is to anyone our age, whatever your circumstances may be, you're thinking, what am I going to do with my life now?
I know.
At this age, what am I going to do? What am I going to study? What am I going to do for work, family, this, that, and the other?
It's kind of intimidating.
It's just hard. And something that I realized on my mission is it's not about making the right decision. It's not turn left and it works out, or turn right and you're done for, you're screwed.
Right.
It's not about making the right decision, but making whatever decision you make right.
I love that.
It was more so, okay, I'm going to just choose this, and then I'm going to ask the Lord to consecrate it in holy prayer and humble prayer and fervent prayer. And that was one of those situations where we got to go, this is so crazy, it doesn't feel real. I'm waking up in Southern Illinois with one of my best friends in the most random house ever, but just consecrate it. Just make it work, and we'll try. It was ghetto, yeah. It was new for us. We've had certain privileges growing up.
Oh, for sure. That was the other thing, because I had the same privileges, and then I go to prison, and I'm like, oh, okay, dang. And now, like, I love the ghetto. I'm sorry. I went to Oakland, California, and I was walking around at night. And yeah. And I get it. Like, it feels a little bit apocalyptic, but I'm like, I got that look in my eyes, like, I'm comfortable. We're good. Nobody messes with me. I'm like, I did prison time. Bring it.
I have a question. So in prison, people would say, like, it's monotonous. You're doing the same schedule.
Yeah.
With you having the same schedule so consistently for
5 years,
right?
Right, yeah.
What did you do to make your day special?
Oh my gosh. For me, I think the most special thing was like, I got up early before everyone else got up. And I lived for morning and night because it was over. Morning because one more day is over, right? But the morning to me was like sacred. I really loved this, like Minnesota's cold in the winters.
Right.
But still, I would get up early and bundle up and like everything I could just to be outside. And there were little things like they sold this herb tea, peppermint tea, and I would get honey and make a warm cup of that and eat a granola bar in the morning. I looked forward to that. And then just when it was totally quiet, like in the unit and everybody else was asleep, for me, it just felt like, I love these people, but I'm so glad they're not awake. It's kind of like being a mother with a bunch of kids. Yeah. The other thing I did, this sounds crazy, but like in prison, you only get a 7-minute shower. So you push a button, it goes for 7 minutes, then it resets and it goes off for like 5, and then you can turn it back on because they don't want you to overuse the water, right? Yeah. But it's cold water in the morning. So I'd get up at 4 a.m. and I would turn every shower in the whole unit on so that when the women would wake up, they could have a warm shower.
Oh my gosh.
That's charity, right?
Yeah.
Wow. I would have loved you as an inmate.
I know, for real, right? Like the girls did love me. Like they did, because I get up in the morning and I would go to every single floor and turn all the showers on so that when they woke up and pushed the button, it was hot water.
So they all could have warm showers.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
But I think, I don't know, like for me, I felt so close to God. I felt so close to Jesus Christ. Like I never have felt any closer. There were times that I just felt my heart was so broken and I felt so loved. I don't know how to explain it, but I felt myself kneel before Jesus Christ. I felt my soul change. I felt something inside me. Like I am so grateful for the healing power of the atonement of Jesus Christ. Like I am the woman I am today because of that. And the women that I met, it sounds really crazy. Like I had this experience one time. I'm sitting in the unit and I look around and I think, I prepared for this before I came to earth. I know you guys. We knew each other before we came to earth. Like I'm here for a reason. I know that doesn't seem normal, but I'll share. I had this about 2.5 years in. I was working a program. Now, just imagine in prison, you're working a program of conflict resolution, and they're giving us time off our prison sentence. And I'm a leader in the program. So conflict resolution in prison goes like this: like, I feel hurt when you threaten to kill me. Like it's there's like a lot of tension, right? Yeah. And I remember one night I go to sleep. The other thing is like, I remember when I finally got a bottom bunk by a window, I think I was happier with that bottom bunk than I ever have been in a new house. Like because I could pray on my knees. Like I just learned to appreciate things so much. But so I'm in that corner in my bottom bunk. And I would just say long prayers at night because I'm tired and I feel like nobody understands me, but God does. And I say this prayer and it's like, Heavenly Father, I'm so tired. I don't know what to do. Please help me. It wasn't a long prayer at all, but I felt like I'd been gone so long, I didn't feel like I belonged home anymore. Yeah. Like it just, and I still had a long time to go, a couple of years. So in my mind, I'm like, where do I belong? It was the belonging thing, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I knew these girls, like I'm working with them all day long. I'm up early trying to do my own thing, but I'm helping them resolve conflict and it's just exhausting. That night I have this dream and I'm in a big room with big windows and it's all white. And it felt very important. And we're sitting at tables and I keep raising my hand, asking questions like, but I don't understand. And I'm kind of a leader. So I just felt like I was a leader in this group. And there's a guy in the front of the room and he's really brilliant. Like he just looks like this amazing, brilliant person. And he keeps smiling at me. He's just like, kind of like, what a cute girl. Like she just doesn't get it, Yeah. And I remember saying, but I don't understand. Like I need to know more. And he said, you can prepare for what you'll go through, but you won't know until you experience it. It's good to prepare, but you won't know until you experience it. But then that guy, he walks by me and he whispers in my ear, I'm going to marry you someday. And I woke up right then and I felt happier than I've ever felt in my entire life. Like I felt eternal joy in that moment. It was just like in prison, the contrast of that, because I felt eternal joy other places. Like since I came home from prison, like the day I was with my friend from prison in the celestial room, I felt eternal joy. But I felt it right then, and I didn't want to lose it. I just, all day long, I kept thinking, I'm going to marry you someday. And I talked to my husband on the phone, and I'm like, I don't understand what the dream means, but there was this really brilliant man that was going to marry me someday. I don't know if you're going to die, but something, it felt really, and I remember sitting out in the rec yard, and I just wanted to feel that over and over and over again. And all of a sudden, I knew that man was my husband. I knew that we don't see each other as incredible as we are. Like I saw him eternally. And it was so important for me to do that because, well, for one, I was like, I prepared for this experience. It felt so real to me that I knew that experience happened before I came to earth.
Yeah.
I knew that I prepared for what I went through before I came to earth. I also knew my husband in a different way. I was like, you're amazing, like way more amazing than I knew. And then when I came home, I had changed so much because I've done the same thing day after day. Chad had been home taking care of kids and trying to survive. I came home and I'd had all these life-changing experiences. And there were times where I was like, we don't even know each other anymore. We had to re-get to know each other. But I never forgot who my husband really is. And I think when we see that in others, when we can see who they are spiritually, they rise to that too. They really do. And so, I don't know, I had so many spiritual experiences in prison, and yet it was so boring and monotonous. Day after day, week after week, year after year, we were frozen in time.
But you got to learn how to look at people like
and it
God
was worth
would.
it. And it was worth every step of it. Yeah.
I had a similar experience on my mission for a completely different reason in a completely different way. But I remember on my mission feeling so much hatred towards a certain person in my life.
Yeah.
It was my dad.
It was me.
Him at first, and then, went to Spain, and I didn't have him to hate anymore. I remember feeling so much hatred towards this one person. It was my dad. But not like a normal toxic, I hate you, just like you could have been there for me better. My dad, he struggles with drug addiction and adrenaline addiction, and he's been in and out of prison 15 times.
Wow.
Booked 15 times. And he's gone clean, and then he's relapsed, and he's gone clean, and he's relapsed, and he's died, and then they bring him back, and he's overdosed, and all the things. I just remember thinking, why is he so inconsistent, and why is this why am I his son? I remember thinking exactly those words on my mission in my first area in Spain. I said, why am I his son? And the message the Lord gave me was, what about my son? And it was just so powerful. Understanding that my father's not perfect, just like I'm not going to be a perfect father, but I have a father above who is perfect. He's magnificent, and he's someone who actually wants to be a part of my life, even when I've made this bad decision, I made this mistake, I did that with my friends, or, whatever the case is. You've obviously felt that as well, so have you.
Yeah.
And then I read a scripture that says, the Son of Man hath descended below them all. Art thou greater than he is? I know I'm not greater than Jesus Christ. I know I'm not, because he atoned for me. He died for me. And every hard thing that I've ever felt, he's felt that too. And he felt it first.
Thank you for sharing that. Wow. I'm like speechless. You guys are so amazing. So if you were talking to someone who is going through some of the challenges that you guys have been through, like, what would you say to that person?
It's my favorite question to hear out of your mouth right now, because I was just thinking about the answer to that question before you asked it. When I came home from my mission 11 months ago, and I still struggle with it a little bit, but I was really struggling with mental health and just accepting everything. This is my life, my missionary service as a full-time missionary is done, Now I have to do boring stuff again. I might have to go work in an office and go to school again, all these things. And I just remember I was just in a rut, and my ecclesiastical leader, my bishop, he took me out to a lunch. He just wanted to talk with me. And before I could even say anything about what was happening in my life, he said, when I'm in a rut, Michael, the best way to get out of that rut is by turning outwards and helping other people. He's like, I've never gotten out of a rut focusing on myself.
So powerful.
It shook me to my core.
So powerful.
And he said, you don't have to stop serving. I said, well, Bishop, here's the problem. I just went from a mission where everything is about other people. Nothing's about you. When you're cooking, it's for your companion, right?
Right.
The only thing you do for yourself is go to the bathroom. And I just remember him telling me, you just turn outwards, and you turn outwards, it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
And I came home and I said, I'm not doing everything for other people anymore. Yeah. Now it's about me.
Right.
What am I going to do for work? What am I going to do for school? Who am I going to date? Me. I.
Yeah.
And he said, you're still doing all of those things for other people. You just haven't met them all yet. You're still studying to support future people, right? You're working to be able to support a future family.
Right.
You're still serving. You're still outwards, even though you feel like you're doing it just for you.
Right.
Just because you haven't met those people in your life yet doesn't mean you're doing things just for yourself and that you're not turned outward.
It's interesting as I listen to you talk about the transition. It was a transition. I came home and I felt so alone, which sounds so weird, right? You think you come home, I'm so happy, everything's good. I felt so alone. I was like, I just want to go connect with people the way I did in prison. Where's my people? I felt alone. And it sounds like you guys might have gone through that too. You come home from a mission and you're like, now what?
Yeah.
Now what? Like, was that hard for you too?
I would say 100%. I was more nervous than anything to come home.
Yeah.
I think that, like, you understand how it is. You feel like prison's like home now. Like,
Right.
okay, this is where I am.
That's where I belong, right?
Exactly. And so I was like, this is where I belong. And so, to be honest, there was parts of my mission where I was just like, okay, I just want to get home. Like, I miss my family. I miss that. I miss
I
this.
can relate to that, yeah.
And it happened several times. And then as the mission progressed, I was like, okay, I'm loving this. This is getting better. And then the 2 years comes to an end, and I'm like, wait, I actually want to stay. Like, I actually don't want to go home. And I just remember being so nervous, and I just remember like praying and just asking God, like, what do I do? Like, please help me, comfort me. And I remember I got a sense of peace, and I got on the plane, and I remember just flying to Salt Lake City. And I just remember just getting an overwhelming feeling like it'll be okay. And it was. I saw my family, and everything worked out good.
Yeah.
And I love what Mike said, because looking outward has helped me. And he is actually such a good example of that. Like, he's always trying to make people laugh, like always just doing acts of service. And so that is something that I have began to understand as well. And so I just love that advice.
Yeah, I think it's so powerful because I'm a mental health coach, right? And the hardest part is like the three things that I learned to do in prison, because I saw people sleeping their time away that were really depressed. It scared me. For that reason, I never slept in, not once. I was up every day by 5 a.m. in prison, only because I just watched certain things and went, if I do that, I'll never come back from it. Like, I didn't go into the laundry room at first because fights happened there. I thought, I'll just stay away from that. I'll pay someone to do my laundry, because you can like give some potato chips to do your laundry. Over time, I learned how to handle those types of things. But with sleep, I just felt like I don't want to get depressed. But there were times where I was so devastated and so heartbroken I couldn't breathe. And I remember the three things that I would always do is get up out of bed no matter what. Go find somebody else who has it harder than me and talk to that person. Do something for them, even if it's just to listen, which I became a lot better listener and it's not hard to find people that have it worse than you in prison. Like, there's so many. So I just go out in the rec yard and I'm like, what's going on? Do you need, so that, and then at the end of the day, find three things I was grateful for. And like, they sound simple, but those things, no matter what. And I had some hard days where I just thought, I can't even look at anybody today. I hurt so deeply, but I did those things anyway. And I feel like when you do look outside yourself, you might be struggling with the mental health stuff. Like, I get it. I have anxiety at times. I go through hard things too. I will tell you this. The world is struggling with mental health. There is a collective mental health crisis in the world. And we are brave. Like, I work with the youth. They're brave. They're amazing. And the world is harder than it used to be. It really is. Mm-hmm. I mean, I grew up without the internet, without cell phones, and I had my challenges, but it's much more difficult now with social media and everything else. And so how do we fight it? I mean, obviously, we turn to our Father in heaven, but sometimes when that's not working, you feel guilty. Like, oh, I'm doing everything they tell me to do. I'm reading my scriptures, I'm praying, and I'm doing it all. And I'm struggling with my mental health, right? Yeah. But I feel like we're purified sometimes in our pain. Like, what we go through gives us experience so that we can understand what someone else is going through. Mm-hmm. So how has that been for you guys? Like, mental health wise?
So many things come to mind. First thing, and I'm not always the best example of this, but how do we fight it? Mm-hmm. I saw this on another podcast. I don't remember who it was.
Shout out to whoever it
was out there. Hopefully this finds them. But he talked about 3 simple things that he would do every single day to feel fulfilled, kind of combat mental health struggles a little bit, certainly. He would do something hard every single day. He says you have to do something hard every single day. Yeah. Like the meat of your schedule, whether that's work or a hard workout or school, push yourself a little bit. Then he said you have to do something fun every day. Yeah. He said go hit a bucket of balls at the driving range, watch a movie, get ice cream, do something fun every day.
You guys went to Swig today.
Yeah. That was fun for us today.
We did go to Swig today.
And then we went
to white girls.
We worked and we did school, and so we had our white girl moment.
Tell us you're from Utah without something.
And so he said, do something hard every single day, do something fun every single day, and do something for someone else every single day.
I love that. I got to do the fun thing. This is fun though. This is fun for me.
This is considered as fun.
We're having a blast.
I'm loving this.
Yep. So that's one thing. And then the other thing I actually learned on my mission from a talk from a professor at the University of Utah. And this summer, I was a youth counselor.
Oh, that's right.
For kids of the church. And so kids from age 13 to 18. And I noticed that a lot of them really, really struggle knowing that God knows them, first of all. And second, if they do know that, they don't know if he loves them.
Yeah.
They feel like they need to fear him because, they made whatever mistake and that he might not love them anymore or accept them. Jesus Christ has his arms open.
Right.
And there's scars on both hands. And on a little part of his scars on his hand has our names on it. First, middle, last, junior, the third. Like it's on
he knows us.
It's right there. He knows, and his arms are open. And so this professor at the U, she was talking about the 3 P's of pessimism. Mm-hmm. And so often we tell ourselves things that aren't true, right? We struggle with self-image, right? Like, I would be better looking if I didn't have this acne.
Yeah.
Or I'm just not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not popular enough. The 3 P's of pessimism is what this professor talked about. She said when we're going through something that's really hard and we're stuck in a mental rut, struggling with mental health, it's the 3 P's of pessimism. First of all, it's personal. It's our fault. If we could just do this, or if we could just change this about us, things would be different and things would be better. So it's personal. Second of all, it's pervasive, right? It's swarming. It's just there, and it's just a part of us now. And third, it's permanent. It's not going anywhere. And these things just aren't true. As much as we convince ourselves that they are, as much as a perfect social media life that is portrayed to us proves to us that it's whatever thing. It's what I've noticed is just our generation is what God's definition of success is so much different. Before my mission, like I talked about a little bit earlier, I just wanted to have followers. When I heard about success, if I heard, for example, Oak's uncle is successful,
money.
What do we think of? We think of money. Maybe he's got a
property,
super cool house, right? Maybe cars, maybe following, maybe he has a great dating life, maybe he got a prestigious degree, or he's just influential. We don't think of disciple of Jesus Christ. We don't think of that. So when we get upstairs, when this is all said and done, God doesn't really care what titles we had and were. He cares a lot more about the title of disciple, son, friend. He cares so much more about those titles. And that's what true success is discipleship, loving.
Right. It's interesting as you say that, I'm thinking, one of the coolest parts about going to prison was that I wore the same clothes for 5 years that everybody else did, and no titles mattered. We were all equal. We're all in the same thing, sleeping in the same beds, eating in the same place. And when I came home, I wore the same clothes for like 3 years. I had one skirt and one shirt. I have every picture at the MTC. I wore that exact same outfit. I just barely branched out. I was too scared because I didn't want to get worldly again. I didn't want to get caught up in worldly things. And so to me, it just represented, if I can just keep myself simple, I don't want to get caught up into money, but I get it. Like that's what we're raised to do. That's what we think success is, right? And then I go to prison and that's all crashed and burned, which was beautiful because then I got to figure out what really matters.
Yeah.
But yeah. You guys learned some really amazing lessons. I wish I would have learned when I was like 21 years old.
We learned so much from the mistakes.
For sure.
But something that's even more important is the people around us. Yeah. You learn so much from the people around you, good or bad. Being companions with Oaks, I gained an added measure of positivity. Because he's so bubbly, he's so smiley, he's just energetic, he's just exuberant towards everyone. And
he has a great smile.
He knows it, right?
He's bubbly and positive.
Anyway,
it was easy. Let's just say that.
You definitely become... we're a product of our environment. And one of my gospel doctrine teachers at school, he says, you hear that you're like the 5 people around you the most. Mm-hmm. Make one of them Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's a really
Make one of them Jesus. And, it might be easier said than done sometimes, but it's just the small things that we can control that actually do add up and make a big effort, like being positive through a hard time.
Right. What about you, Oaks? What would you say to someone like going through a hard time, whether it be on their mission or like what has helped you get through your hard stuff?
I would say just listening to the Spirit. I remember that on my mission, we would always go store finding. And that's when you like go in. It's not like knocking doors. It's like you literally walk into a grocery store and you just talk to people about Jesus. Like someone's looking at apples and you pretend you're getting apples as well. That was my strategy. And then you go like, hey, could I ask you a question real quick? And they're like, yeah, what's up? I'm like, do you believe in Jesus Christ? Just something to start something. Yeah. Like, why? And then you just tell them what you are. Like, we're sharing messages about Jesus. Yeah. And just kind of do that, But there was times missionaries got kicked out of the stores because people would...
Serious?
For some reason, employees just didn't like it, which makes sense. Maybe we're disturbing customers, but it's Jesus, Yeah. It should be good.
Yeah.
But I remember one time we were just talking to everyone we could see in Walmart. Like literally just going to everyone, like get as many numbers as we can, appointments set up.
Right.
And then we notice one of the workers is staring at us, and we see like the manager, he like points at us.
Yeah, they're coming for us.
Yeah, you can tell him talking, and we're like, okay, let's get out of here.
I love that you guys are trying to dodge the managers.
No, literally. And we're walking out of the store, and I have the strongest prompting to turn around. I'm like, wait, why? Like, I feel like we got everyone's number already.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, let's just keep going. And then I get the same prompting. I turn around and go on like kind of on the aisles, like on the side, like dodge them, not go in the middle of the store. And my companion is even like, oh, it's like, let's just go. We're about to get kicked out.
Yeah.
And then we see this girl and this mom in the back, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to them. And I talk to them, and we just get their number. It was a normal interaction. And then the girl's like, I've been looking for a church to go to, so this is awesome. I'm like, okay, this is sweet. Get their number. Next day we have church, and we forgot to text these people. So I text them, and let me back up a bit. We got kicked out of the store right when we got their number. We got their number and like, hey, get out. We're like, okay.
We got it.
But that was the spirit.
We don't want no problems.
That was like literally, we're missionary. That was the spirit working in my life for sure. But the next day, the crazy part is we forget to text this girl and this mom. We text the girl 10 minutes before church, maybe 15 minutes before church. And she immediately responds. We invite her to church, and she immediately responds, and she says, okay, I'll come. Like, we just sent her a quick invite. She's like, okay, I'll be there. She comes to church. She's a 17-year-old girl. She is friends with all of the young women. Her friend group is quite literally the young women of that church. She immediately was embraced by all her friends, sat with a family, and literally, I think it was 2 or 3 months later, she was baptized. So quick. She just loved the church. She has been looking for a church. And if I didn't listen to the Spirit in that moment and turn around at Walmart and get kicked out, then we wouldn't have found that person. She is now preparing to go on a mission right now, actually. And so it's just the coolest thing, just how the Spirit works. And so I think your question was, what has helped me like in my life?
Yeah. And so like for people that don't know, that aren't LDS, I think most people understand like that there is, so maybe we'll explain it. As members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we believe in our Father in heaven, believe in a Savior, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, and in the Holy Ghost. And the Holy Ghost is spiritual, and you feel it. I have felt it prompt me and guide me in my life. The way that I feel that sometimes is being in nature, being quiet. I'll go to a temple, an LDS temple, or to church, or maybe in prison, like anywhere. You know, you might feel it. Sometimes it's a prompting. It could be a prompting when you're driving a car too fast or whatever, and it tells you to turn this way or do that. But I have felt very guided by the Spirit. But if that, like, I would love you to share more about that for you. Like, has that been a big part of your life and guiding you?
Yeah, 100%. I think that everyone is going to make decisions that aren't good always. And I think that when you do things like read the scriptures or go to church, you can have more time with the Spirit. And then eventually you can get used to having the Spirit in your life. Yeah. And so it's kind of been like a voice for me, because I feel like I'm so imperfect. And I feel like everyone that is like probably watching this is the same way. They can know like, hey, I make mistakes. And I think having the Spirit in your life as much as you can is what's guided me. And of course, there's other things like I can have good parents, which has obviously helped. And so just doing everything you can, like surrounding yourself with good people. Like, he is a good person. And so naturally when I'm around him, I'm going to be a good person as much as I can. That's actually not always true, but
I think you're both pretty amazing people. And also like, so my friend Christina, who I met in prison, she's amazing. She's actually from Missouri, and she grew up in the poorest of poor. Both of her parents passed away before she went to prison. She ended up coming to prison on a drug charge, but her mom was an addict and just had suffered a lot of loss. The most humble person I've ever met. Like, she had so much light when I met her in prison. I was like, she and I were roommates, and she would kneel and pray every night for like 45 minutes on a hard floor. Like, who does that? And people would ask me, did you try to share the gospel with her? I was like, I was trying to get what she had. Like, I wanted what I wasn't trying to convince anyone of anything. She went to the Christian church. She knew that I read my scriptures and kind of did my own thing on Sunday, you know, because there weren't any other members there. But when I remember asking her, I was like, what has protected you? Because she was in some really scary places, and she goes, oh, Jesus has always been with me, Portia. Like she said all the neighbors were elderly when we lived in drug houses, and I would just go from neighbor to neighbor when I was a young girl, and they would protect me, like watch over me. And she goes, and so she actually came home and joined the church, which was amazing.
That's awesome.
And I got to be with her in the temple the day that she was endowed. It was probably the happiest day of my life. That is so cool. The happiest day of my life. That's like cool. More happy than when I married my husband. I'm sorry, Jack. But seriously, I felt eternal joy, the love that I have for her. And I don't know, like I just knew her spiritually the day that I met her, right? And she's a person that just is guided by the Spirit, like in her life, and was before she ever joined the church. Like her life has just been such a good example to me. I don't know. I love her. So anyway, I feel like Heavenly Father is guiding all of his children all the time. I remember girls that I met in prison that were really rough around the edges. And one girl, I wrote her a note one time because I knew she was going through a hard time. And she just came to me. She goes, when I read that, I felt God's love. Like they feel it. They know, everyone knows. The story that I shared with you guys about the dream that I had in prison while I was in prison. So I had a college professor that was reading. I wrote a couple books, and he was reading my book, and he's like, you can't write that, put that in the book, because people get confused by it. So I sent it to all my friends in prison to read my book before I published it, and everybody loved that chapter. And that wasn't LDS, because I think it doesn't matter what religion you are, we feel and know truth. They knew, like I think most of us believe, most of the people I met believe that we weren't just born here. Like we existed before we came to earth in some form. For me, we were prepared spiritually before we came to earth, and we're going somewhere. Right. And so it doesn't matter like what religion you are, there's a spiritual connection we share that's way deeper than religion. We are spiritually connected. I felt that in prison, and I feel it now. I feel it with you guys.
I love that. There's my favorite quote is by the president of the church, the old president. He just passed. Yeah. Rest in peace.
I love that man. Yeah, I love that man so much.
So cool. He said, it will be impossible to survive spiritually without the constant companionship of the Holy Ghost. And I think that is something that is so helpful to know is we can't be able to get through this life the way we should if we can't have the Spirit in our lives as much as we can.
Right.
And so that has been the biggest guide for me because I make a lot of mistakes and he knows that. And so I think that's...
Did you say he knows it? Or?
He knows it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the man upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought that, but for a minute I was just, you guys are cute.
Well, him too, for sure. But yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you guys coming over here. Like we just were talking last night and I said, come be on the podcast. Yeah. So cool.
Everyone has something to offer, even like broke college students. So
it's true.
You guys are amazing. You're going to change the world. So yeah, it's my pleasure to have you here. So thank you guys so much. That's a wrap. We'll probably catch these guys in another year and see where you're at and do the update. And thank you for joining Living Louder podcast. We'll see you next time. Okay. That's it, you guys.